And for a sixth night running in Turkey, it was more of the same. Clashes leading to police unleashing their water cannons and tear gas on protesters. A third fatality has been confirmed in the unrest after a man died from head injuries in an Ankara hospital. Activists want the police chiefs responsible for their violent tactics removed and urged officials to ban the use of tear gas. Protesters also want all those that have been detained released, saying that could end the days of riots. The Turkish Prime Minister returns from a trip to North Africa later and will be expected to do something about the public discontent, which has seen demands for him to reverse all his policies. But as RT's Irina Galushka reports, Erdogan appears to be looking for scapegoats.
Barricades and banners, flags and tear gas. Turkey's going through a rough time right now. So, who's to blame?
Consider the sincerity of these protests. Social media has been full of fabricated news, baseless claims and accusations against me for days. Therefore, we should hang these people from the trees. They are accustomed to that. These tactless people are tweeting and messaging that we are victims of violence and dying. Police panzers are crushing us. And the people who share and retweet these claims are just hundreds of fascists,
said Prime Minister Tayyip Erdogan before jetting off to an African tour, while voices of dissent on Istanbul's Taksim Square, as well as many other squares and parks in Turkey, grew louder. But the Turkish Prime Minister had by then already dismissed these voices as coming from drunkards, looters and extremists, the only types of people who attend protests in Turkey, according to Erdogan.
This completely dislikes opposition to his ideas. He takes this as a personal offense, and so he is used to have agrees from the public for a lot of time, because he gained the half of the votes of the country. This time probably he didn't assume that there will be the protests will be so big.
Erdogan's feelings for the protesters, however, are mirrored by the people on Taksim, who believe Erdogan has lost touch with reality and cares mostly about one person's opinion, his own.
Everybody was here being gassed, and people were trying to resist, and people were trying to keep this park. And he was telling that we are looters. He was saying that there is actually no project here going on, and then he changed his mind and he said there is of course a project and I will do what I want to do.
And then there was the issue of spies everywhere. In his commentary on the protest, the Prime Minister insisted there are hundreds if not thousands of foreign agents working to upset the status quo in the country. Erdogan insisted it's these very agents that have instigated the unrest in the first place and continue to lurk among the crowds, encouraging dissent and turmoil.
Today's Zaman newspaper quoted an unnamed source in the government who claimed authorities have arrested some 15 foreigners across the country in connection with the protests. Ironically, many of them turned out to be nationals of Iran, a country which has been on Erdogan's blacklist for quite some time. But just a couple of months ago, the Prime Minister cut a different picture, delivering a heartfelt speech on the subject of human rights and freedoms.
Where there is no justice, there is no humanity. Because there is justice and justice is excluded, its place has shifted to man's identity, the identity of human beings to speak. It is impossible to claim that these people can build a decent life.
But in Erdogan's Turkey, lately people have been busy putting up barricades to keep police at bay, rather than building a prosperous future for themselves. Irina Galushka, RT, Istanbul.